Well, I haven't done one of these in a while, and I think this is the first one of 2025. So, yeah, I wanted to kind of showcase some of the records that I've got. I've also got a couple tapes that I'm excited to show as well, because I'm starting to get back into tapes. And I just thought it would be fun to kind of showcase, those items that I've picked up. Now, I'm on a strict no buy until further notice. So you probably won't see another one of these until hopefully the mid-year. Cause yeah, I mean I've got quite a bit here, but yeah, it's not nothing crazy like I've had in the past. Well, it's actually pretty crazy. It's basically what I've had in the past. So with that all being said, I'm going to shift myself over just a smidge so that I can hold up whatever I'm showing here. I think I'm going to start with the tapes and then I'm going to go right into the records. So first up, we've got Lunaire's album. I believe it's Tempora Mutantor. Great kind of progressive metal album, very jazzy, very insane. I reviewed these guys back in January in like the January 10 albums that I've been listening to this month. So when I saw that they had the tape ready, had to pick that one up. The rest are pop records, which should surprise nobody. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of pop. So first up, I got Chapel Rowan's The Rise and Fall right there. It's great because it's on a translusive cassette tape, which is kind of fun, with I think all the it's just rise and fall of a Midwest princess over and over and over again written on it. That's one of the things that I actually like about tapes nowadays, is that the actual tape itself, like, people are getting really creative. So next one I've got is the Marias with Submarine. Great record. I think I might actually have it over there. We'll talk about that. And it's blue. So, like, people are doing some really fun things with tapes nowadays. And then finally, I've got Short and Sweet from Sabrina Carpenter. I got the alternative cover because I already have the record and I think CD. I picked up the bonus, like the big deluxe thing. So, yeah, so those are all the tapes that I picked up, only 4. Let's dive into the actual records then. And the first off, if you guys haven't been utilizing your thrift stores, I recommend, because I've got great men of music, Igor Stravinsky. Love this composer, one of my favorite composers, might be my favorite composer after Beethoven, if I'm being perfectly honest. And it has the Firebird Suite, it has the Red of Spring. This whole thing cost me like $4. Like, it was $3.99, and I think it was even on sale. So I think it came out to like $2.99 or something like that. But I've got like 4 records here. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 records and a book. Now, I know these kinds of things are dime a dozen, but still, like, utilize those thrift stops. Okay, the rest are all new. I kind of went overboard in terms of the new stuff, and there's very little rhyme or reason. I've kind of grouped like with like as much as I can, but yeah, let's just dive into it. The first one I want to talk about is some Frost, Life Within the Wires. I really like this record. One of my favorite records from last year. I had to pick it up on physical format because I have their first 2 records, and this album is not quite as good as those first 2, but it's just like, I feel like it warranted a spot on my shelf here. And it actually plays really well, there you go, as a record, because it has a very clear first side, second side, third side, fourth side. So really great, really great. Had to pick this one up. Next up is an album I've been looking for a while, and I finally decided to pull the trigger on it, and it's very shiny. So there you go. This is Mogwai's Happy Songs for Happy People. One of my favorite Mogwai records. The Mogwai record that came out this year was a little bit of a disappointment, if not the biggest disappointment that I've had so far this year. So it made me want to go back and, check out those records that I really, really love from Mogwai. And this, I think, is like the one that really put them on the map. I think this one was from 2003. I mean, that's the copyright from on the back here. Great post-rock, great soundscapes, great compositions, and just great songwriting shit from start to finish. So if you haven't listened to this one and you want to get into Mogwai, this is a great starting point. Okay, an album that I had mentioned, we're going into some of the pop records records that I picked up. Let's talk about the Marias with Submarine, one of my favorite records from last year. I've got the tape, and I believe, much like the tape, this record, it's not blue, but it's kind of like an aquamarine, kind of almost like seafoam green. Again, beautiful soundscapes, beautiful vibes on this record. I really enjoyed this one of my favorite pop records of last year. And if you haven't checked this one out, again, this is a great starting point for some of the pop stuff that we got last year. So, you know, there's the gatefold there, and there's the rest of the band on the back. Okay, another one that I picked up because I couldn't say no, even though it was a little spicy in terms of the price. I got Dua Lipa's, Live from the Royal Albert Hall. She's with a full orchestra on this one, so it breathes a lot of new life onto a lot of her really big songs. I think she plays most of Radical Optimism on this, and I really, really liked Radical Optimism. I know not a lot of people liked it, thought it was kind of a lesser form of her, future nostalgia, but I friggin' loved it. And what I really like is that it has the window here, so if you don't like that front cover, you know what? Just flip the album over, slide it back in, and now you've got another cover going on there. And if you don't like that one, guess what? There's two more because it's a double album. If you want just the book, you've got the Dua Lipa there. And if you take the book out, it's just blank. So, yeah, great live rendition of a lot of these songs. Really, really like it. Now I'm just going to put this back in so that I can see that costume change there. Love this record. Really great live record as well. All right, another one that came out that I had to pick up is Sabrina Carpenter. I was already talking about Short and Sweet. Now I'm trying to collect her other albums. I already have Emails I Can't Send. I'm trying to find her first record. This is her second record. And it's very different from Short and Sweet, which I think a lot of people know her from. It's a little bit more, I guess, popular for the sake of popular. And I feel like she's still trying to find her feet on these couple of first records. Still love that first one. I feel like that's very authentic. This one feels a little less authentic. And the next two records that she came out with, I didn't like at all, so I'm not going to pick those ones up. But hey, this was a great record. Had a lot of fun, and it's very poppy, very popular. Next is a forerunner for my favorite pop record of the year. This one comes to us from Victoria Canal, and that's Softly It Dawns. Again, very vibes, very smooth, very intimate. I really love how, I keep using the word vibes, but that's essentially what it is. It's very subdued, there's not a whole lot going on, but I love the track 15%. 15% is just a great build up, and yeah, it's still a pop record, but I'm kind of digging pop. That train from 2024 is still continuing here in 2025. Okay, let's move away from pop for just a bit. I've got a couple more. You know what? Let's go to another pop record. I think that's fair. This one was my second favorite album of the year last year, and it took me a while to try to find this. I couldn't find it in any physical record store because that's what I try to do as much as possible. So I had to order this online, and this is, of course, Magdalena Bay with their brilliant album of Imaginal Disc. Love this record. I've talked extensively about it. Here, I'll just show you the gatefold in there. This here is kind of more of a perfect representation of the music that's going on this record, more so than the actual front cover disc. I've talked at length about this record. If you haven't listened to it already, please do. It's a fantastic record. One of my favorites of last year. I think as I said, it was my second favorite record of all last year. Okay, last pop adjacent, I think, record. So this was in my big no-buy final hurrah. I bought two fairly expensive records on my way out the door. And the first one I want to talk about is Amy Winehouse's live album at the BBC. This is kind of a collection of her performances while she was recording at the BBC in a live presentation. And it spans from 2003 to 2007. Most of the songs, if not half of the songs, are from her, I believe, her big performance in 2007, right after she put out Back in Black. But a lot of these are also from, some of her very early shows. It starts off with a track that was recorded back in November of 2003, but then you have a couple from 2004, a couple from 2006, and then the main kind of Hall is from 2007. So there is a little bit of overlap of songs for sure. There's a couple of songs on here that appear more than once, which I am actually kind of okay with, because he kind of shows and documents her progression as an artist. Because again, this is one of those artists that definitely left us a little too young. So there you go, the full trifecta, because it's a triple album, and I keep knocking my other light source over there. So what a fantastic live record, capturing one of the best singing voices that we've had ever. Okay, let's move on to the prog and the metal. Let's just start with Dream Theater. They put out a new record this year, and I had to pick it up in physical format. I haven't picked up their last two records, Distance Over Time and Views from the Top of the World. I didn't feel like I liked them enough to own in physical copies, but now I'm thinking if I see them, I'll probably pick them up, as I'll make clear a little bit later on why. I've been loving this one. You know, I feel like the band is back on their A game, producing a fantastic record. I know that there's a big controversy over the whole AI generated images here, but what I particularly like is kind of like the attention to detail. You know, because you've got the Shadow Man kind of here on the last track, you know, the Shadow Man incident. And you can kind of see like bits and pieces here and over here of different song metaphors and song messages. You know, Sleepwalking Girl from Dead Asleep. The Broken Man can kind of be seen. And we've got like the whole gatefold there as well. So, you know, just those kind of little Easter eggs that I feel has been missing on the front cover of the Dream Theater records for a little bit now. And since the release of that one, I've picked up some of the early Dream Theater records that I didn't have. Now, this first one I haven't even opened yet, so there's going to be a little bit of a shine, a little bit of a gloss. This is their big record of Images and Words. I already had this record, but I had it in a double disc, and getting it on a single disc really fills my heart with joy. I love a single disc when there's enough music for a single disc to be had. So I don't mind owning it twice just so that I can have it on a single disc. These next two, well, yeah. So I also got Awake because I never had Awake in vinyl. I have it on CD. But yeah, decided to finally get it on vinyl. Still haven't opened these guys up because I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet. And then finally, I was kind of hemming and hawing about this last one, mainly because I already have the demos, and I feel like the demos are actually a better end product than what we got here. But I still had to pick it up, and that is Falling Into Infinity. Again, not their best album, but also not their worst. It has some of the, you know, quintessential Dream Theater tracks like Peruvian Skies, Hollow Years, My Burning Soul, New Millennium, Trial of Tears. Is Line in the Sand here? I think Lines in the Sand is in here. So, you know, some banging tracks. It's just, I think the studio got a little too involved on this one. And as I mentioned, the demos kind of show what this album really should have been. Okay, another one, because I'm trying to collect all my favorite Neil Morse record, and that is the Question Mark Suite. This is one of the few Neil Morse records that I haven't spent a whole lot of time with. Spent a lot of time with Testimony 1 and 2. Spent a whole lot of time with 1. So, you know, this was like the next one, and it's the Question Mark, and it's kind of like one single track subdivided into different sections, but I consider it one single track of just Question Mark. It's great. Like I said, I don't spend a whole lot of time with this as I do his other works, and I have Sola Scriptura on order because he just announced that he was going to release, I think like 500 or 5,000 copies of it. Limited run of those, so I had to run and jump onto that one because after that, that's all I need for his discography on vinyl. That I want, you know, like if he releases Testimony 2, maybe I'll pick that one up, but like some of his other ones like Momentum and some of the other ones, I'm not running out or itching to own on physical copy, so I'm okay stopping there. All right, next up is Blood Incantation. I'm going to throw both of them up at the same time. I've got the Absolute Elsewhere, you know, the album that they released last year. That is just amazing. If you haven't listened to it, again, got to check this one out. Great death metal, progressive death metal, really, at the end of the day, because it's just 2 tracks. You know, you've got the Stargate and The Message, And the best part about this is on the record, they don't split it up into the different tablets. They literally just have side 1, Stargate, side 2, the message. And then, of course, you've got the one that I feel put them on the map. It's, I believe, their second record of Hidden History of the Human Race. And man, this one goes hard. This one definitely goes hard. There's only a few tracks on each side. I think the second side is just one track of Awakening. And then the first side is the slave species of the gods, the Giza power plant, and then the inner paths. So I had to pick up both of them. And I think with this one, I'm going to take out the record because I bought it from a record store here in the city that I live in, and it's got that neon green, so it looks very, very pretty. And I'll also show the gatefold because the gatefold looks fantastic on this. I'll also show you the gatefold in the Absolute Elsewhere. There you go. That's fine. All right, we're coming into the last one. The last one, this was my last record that I bought. Again, I kind of went out on a big hurrah with the big no-buy. And I got the special edition of Permanent Waves. This is actually the only special edition, the 50th anniversary of any of the Rush albums that I got, mainly because they're all a little spicy in terms of the price. Not going to lie, I would have really liked Farewell to Kings, and I would have loved Hemispheres. But both of them were little spicy. This one was on sale. It was on clearance. It's really 3 albums. Well, I guess 2 albums. 3 discs. First album is just the regular old Permanent Waves, which, again, absolutely love. Not necessarily my favorite Rush record. That one goes to Hemispheres, and then very closely followed up by Farewell to Kings. But, I mean, it's up there. It's probably within my top 5. The main reason why I picked this one up, is the live record that it comes with. It's a double disc. There you go. And it has Cygnus X1 and Cygnus X1 Book 2, which has, Hemispheres on it. But it also has, Xanadu, Spirit of the Radio, Natural Science, The Trees, Jacob's Ladder, Closer to the Heart, Free Will. Some of the, really big Rush stuff that I absolutely love. So, yeah, this is their world tour from 1980. And, yeah. Absolutely love this one. Absolutely. So, yeah, when I saw that this was on clearance, even though it was still fairly expensive, but it was under $100, which, it's hard to find these things under $100. And that's it. That's my record haul for this go around. Surprisingly that I kept this under 20 minutes because most of these go over 20 minutes. So thank you all so much for watching. What are some of the albums you've picked up in this early couple of months in 2025 and late within 2024? What were your favorites from the bunch that I have? Which were your most surprising? Again, let me know all about that by commenting down below. And I think that's where I'm going to leave you for today. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.